Hi, I'm Mark. This is my May review for Taurus Sun sign and Taurus rising. We have a busy month this month. We have planets going retrograde. We have the Sun in your sign, so a lot of birthdays for Taurus. We have first eclipse of the year and a few difficult aspects that we need to overcome. We start off the month and Pluto is retrograde. Pluto's in your 9th house and will be retrograde until the 5th of October. But we can work with the energy while it's retrograde. And the lesson to be learned in the 9th house is one of developing the mind and the spirit. It's also a fantastic time to forge your own philosophy of life and to lead by example and live by it. Not to preach to others, but to show that example. Also on the 1st we have Venus, your ruler, coming together with the Black Moon Lilith in your 1st house. Now these two are like twins, the light twin and the dark twin, but they come together on the 1st, and this will relay a lot of fears you may have, personal fears about maybe your appearance and how you are with other people. But this will be nullified so that you can have some fun. You can meet new people, you can have opportunities and have some fun and a bit of excitement. On the 2nd, the Sun in Taurus makes a square to Saturn. Now, some astrologers will say that this is a very difficult or unlucky aspect, but I don't think it is. I think it's an aspect that will bring up things that are probably unpleasant, that you don't want to face and to deal with. But it's a good time to do some soul search, look deep within, and if events happen, then they will highlight concerned areas where you need to make adjustments. There's another aspect as well on that day with the Mercury contacting the Black Moon Lilith. This lasts for till the 23rd. This is a time when you may want to deflect things away from yourself. You may want to perhaps concentrate on goals and dreams rather than deal with the current situation. You may get involved with friends and their problems rather than deal with your own. But it's good to face the reality now. With the Sun in your house and your sign, it's a good time to make adjustments and to put things on track. On the 3rd, Mercury arrives at the very end of your sign and is ready to move into Gemini on the 4th, which will be good because that's the 2nd house for you and house of finances. But he makes an aspect on the 3rd to Jupiter, and this would normally be very fortunate for business and commerce and very good for planning, but you need to be careful because Mercury is weakened at that last degree of Taurus, and you just need to make sure that you check everything, that you dot all the I's, cross all the T's in any communications or business transactions. Then on the 6th there's a great aspect because the Sun comes together and conjuncts the asteroid Cupido. Now, this is Cupid, the Roman god of love. So you could have one of those arrows fired. You could be magically drawn to someone on a day like this. It's also a day of passion and excitement because Venus makes a trine to Pluto. So there'll be very intense emotions, and you can also gain some fantastic psychological insights into yourself because Venus is in that 1st house. On the 8th, Venus does the same as Mercury, makes a square to Jupiter just at the end of your sign, so her strength is gone, it's very weak. So there may be a tendency to overindulge in something to make yourself feel better. Be careful not to overdo it and don't let the money go through your hands too quickly. On the 9th she moves into Gemini in your 2nd house of finances, so this is better for her now when she's back to full strength. Then on the 10th Mars makes a difficult aspect. It makes a square to Uranus. Now Uranus in your 1st house, as you know, it's been there for some time. Mars in your 3rd house means your mind will become very restless. You'll be bored, you'll want to do something different, but you won't know what you want to do. You probably want to make changes, personal changes, maybe with your appearance or something that's been annoying you recently. You may get very irritable about things. But don't dismay, try and stay calm and work through this one, because you have also on that day Mercury making a conjunction with the North Node. This is very good for strategically planning finances and getting yourself in line with where you need to be financially. On the 11th, we have a new moon in your sign of Taurus. Those of you born between the 6th and the 16th of May will feel this very acutely. Or if you have a rising sign between 16 and 26 degrees, again, this will be very much centred on you. The new moon in the first house is about reinventing yourself, changing things about yourself, to give yourself more confidence. It's a time to push forward, to be noticed. With the first house, it's represented by Aries, so it's time to be a little bit impulsive, do things, maybe take a leap of faith, but remember to be authentic in what you do. With the new moon in Taurus, it's about connecting with nature. It's about connecting with the earth, getting an emotional connection. So either get your hands dirty, do some gardening, or go for a walk in the park and just look at the sights of the gardens and trees around you, so you can get that connection. Just one little thing to be aware of: the new moon makes a conjunction with the black moon Lilith, so there could just be something that creeps up behind you that's a fear, something that you have probably thought had gone but just pops up. So just be aware of that and take notice of it and see what it is. On the 12th, the Sun makes a positive aspect to Neptune in your 11th house. So you'll be very much in touch with friends at this time. You'll have feelings and senses about them and be able to understand them better. And also, Mercury makes a positive aspect to Saturn on that day, so you'll be able to listen well and you'll be able to counsel people well. Also, it's good for getting on with authority figures. If you're working, you'll be able to get on very well with your bosses. And also in the public arena, you'll be able to communicate well with people generally. Then on the 14th, Jupiter moves into your 11th house in Pisces. So now you have Pisces with his two rulers in his house. So this is good. Any matters of the 11th house now will be very, very fortunate. So it's a good time to set new goals for you. It's a good time to network and get along with people, and perhaps join groups and belong to groups that will further your development, but also help other people as well. On the 16th, the Sun makes a positive aspect to Pluto. Now, this is a time to make those reforms, make those changes that you decided on at the new moon. Put your thoughts into action. Then, between the 17th and the 19th, Venus makes three aspects, all positive. The first one is conjunction with the North Node. This is in your second house. This is a time to work on your self-development and your values. It's also a good time to manifest. Then, on the 18th, Venus makes a positive aspect to Chiron. Now, this can bring up a wound from the past to do with rejection. It can be something that comes up through the unconscious, and it could be to do with finances as well, with it being in the second house. But the positive side of this aspect is that you'll see things, you'll see the beauty in things, no matter how bad they are. Then, the final aspect of the 19th, Venus makes a trine aspect to Saturn. Saturn's in your 10th house. This is good to discuss career or destiny matters. This is a good time to take advice from someone in authority, someone who's a more senior or father figure. On the 21st, the Sun leaves your sign and moves into Gemini and your second house. So the affairs of the second house will be highlighted over the next month. The minute the Sun moves into Gemini, he makes a square to Jupiter. Jupiter's in your 11th house. They're both at 0 degrees, so they're both very, very powerful at this point. So what does this mean? Well, this is a time when you can achieve, and you can achieve through others as well. It's a good time to work well with others and to understand and get them on your side, because you'll achieve a lot more. Also, there's another square on that day. This one is between Neptune and Mercury. Now, this is a bit more difficult. This one works a bit like Mercury retrograde, so things may get misunderstood or misplaced. So just be very careful of that, but really tap into that Sun-Jupiter energy. That would be great. On the 23rd we have our second planet going retrograde. This time it's Saturn in the 10th house. Now the lesson here is to take authority wisely. It's also good practice to develop responsibility and good working practices and morals for your achievements. Then on the 25th there's a conjunction between Neptune and Pallas. This is a very creative conjunction. It's in your 11th house. This is a good time to work with others, with friends, and it's a good time to work in a group. You can achieve a lot. This aspect is great for strategy and problem solving in a creative manner. So this is all good for your 11th house area. There's just one thing to be aware of between the 26th and the 29th. The conjunction, which lasts until the end of the month, has a square from both Venus and then Mercury. So there could be blockages or hold-ups during this time that hinder your progress. On the 25th we have a full moon in Sagittarius, but there's also a total lunar eclipse. So this is the first eclipse of the season. This one belongs to the Saras 5 North series. This brings hunches. This brings ideas through from the unconscious or the psychic realms, and you need to act upon these if you have any. The full moon in Sagittarius is about freedom. It's about growth and expansion. So this is something you could embrace as well. And in your 8th house, it's about balancing the needs, your comforts with that of other people's. The 8th house is also about shared resources. So there may be a large sum of money you have to pay out for some reason, maybe a large purchase, or maybe that someone else needs help and you want to help them out. The Sun is conjunct the North Node for this full moon, so this means there could be an opening up of a pathway. It's a very creative boost as well. So it could be signs or symbols or something that you notice that will guide you on your new path. We spoke about the Neptune-Pallas conjunction in your 11th house. Well, Mars makes a positive aspect to that conjunction on the 29th. So this adds physical strength to these planets. So this will increase your ability to get tasks done and working with others. You'll also be very compassionate of the needs of others, and you'll be able to work together in a group to achieve much. Also on the 29th we have our third planet going retrograde. This time it's Mercury. Mercury's in your 2nd house, and the lesson of Mercury retrograde in the 2nd house is to not waste money. It's to not be too impulsive where spending is concerned. And you need to look at your values and see what you truly and really value, and learn to value the right things. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you. And happy birthday to all you Taurians.